Okay, so just give me a second here. I want to make sure I have a transmission. What the hell is going on? What just happened here? Okay, clickety click. Okay, sorry, bunch of technical confusion there for a moment. I'm just still working on an astrodoodle. We're already heavily booked up here. I've got 3 readings lined up. I hope Sarah shows up. I owe you one. Hello, Necessary. Hello, Love Triper. So we've got some super crazy astrology stuff going on here. There's Jupiter. Okay. Yeah, let's have a look. Let's get this better. It's a nice trine and a sextile over there. Sort of a lightweight trine over there. And I would say Aquarius to. It's weird because of these cusps. It's very strange. Out of sign squares, out of sign sextiles, and so on. Kind of weird. Okay, this is definitely a goodie. What about Mercury? There we go. That's pretty strong over here. Okay, let's have a look at the tricky spots. A little bit awkward stuff going on here. That's going to increase. Let's put it in very lightly anyway. It's going to get stronger. Ouch. Yeah. And then tomorrow it's going to be Moon opposite Mars. Very, very uncomfortable, very shaky kind of vibe. This is not a very happy position here. Let's have a look. Yep. It's very awkward. I'm just going to put it in as one awkward square, but it's really a lot of multiples. And we got a very, very nasty square here. Aquarius 20. We should put that into Uranus over here. Alright. I'm just going to circle the trouble spots. Over here, over here, over here, over here. That's on top of everything else. Alright, so, oh gosh, I gotta let me just double check things again here. Oh, Mr. Ross is here. Alright, let me get all sorted out and organized. Gosh, I've got so many freaking buttons. It drives me nuts. You know, some of the really advanced YouTube channels, they have editors and engineers to do all this stuff, and then the creator, like myself, all I do is sit there and talk, you know, chitter chatter, and I don't have to worry about buttons or the technology or anything like that. I just worry about content. Anyway, stop complaining, TL. We've been here years, we're still doing it somehow or other. Hello, Love Triber. Hello, Gregory. Necessary will probably show up in a while. I'm hoping Sarah shows up in a while. Okay, we're already all booked up. I won't be able to take any more. My voice is already pretty feeble as it is. There you go, Gregory. There. That's it. It's booked up, folks. How's everyone? Great week. Well done. Somebody's having a great week. Awesome. Well, why not? You know, if you watch the world headlines, you'd think it's the end of the world. Yeah. It's just another day on the planet. Unless you see this and you realize, oh my God, what the hell is going on? Ah! Oh no. I'll come back to that. Let me just tidy up here first, okay? Get this. I'm going to put some of this stuff away. I don't need these anymore. At least not now. There we go. Okay. So this is the ephemeris for today. There is the 15th of June. And we've got major crisis points here and here. Of course, here ongoing, here ongoing. And we're dealing with it because that's what we do here. The whole point of this freaking channel is to have a little bit of insight inside the mystical realms of tarot, behind the veil. We can look at the astrology and see it as a weather report. Oh, no wonder things are so bad over here. Oh, no wonder some things are so good over there. Of course. And so that's all this is. This is just the technical data that I use to create this. This comes from here. This comes from space, SpaceX, NASA, any of the satellite companies, any of the spacecraft, anything in the military that puts rockets in space, and so on. They need this information to find out what the heck our planets are doing at any given time, because those planets exert geomagnetic influence on all of us. Every tadpole, every tree, every butterfly, every whale, every person. There you go. I had another chart recently. That was fun. I think I was talking about it with Love Triber. And I'll just do a quick doodle just to give you a sense of perspective. I like to watch space weather, the actual technology, the actual scientific stuff about the sun and its daily behavior, because it's an indication of what happens here on Earth. And so every now and again, Ben likes to show proportions. If this is the sun, okay, if that's the sun, then Mercury is here. This is the scale. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Moon. I know you can't even see it. Venus, Mercury, Earth, Moon, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. That's what we get. That's what it looks like in our solar system. So guess which is the dominant energy in our solar system? Yep. There it is. If you can see it here, there's Earth and there's our little moon. Jupiter has lots of moons. Saturn has some moons. Uranus has moons. Neptune, I'm not sure. I think Pluto has. Mercury is very tiny. It's even smaller than this, and it's very much closer to the sun. Of course, it's extremely hot there, like Venus. Anyway, we're not doing astrology tonight. We're doing tarot readings. Where shall I start? I don't see... I don't see necessary anywhere. I don't see Sarah. Let's put them aside over here for now. Just over there in the lobby, in the waiting room. I'll put necessary over there too, like so. But we know that Love Triber's here. We know that Gregory's here. So, Love Triber, we're going to start with you. I'm going to use the Arte deck, like I love to do. Let me just actually do a few notes on the astrology, and then we'll do probably do Gregory next, but we'll see how the gang shows up over time. We got plenty of room here. I'm sure we'll figure it out. Actually, I think it's good to show these tonight because everybody just showed up immediately right at the beginning. We're totally booked out. So please, nobody, no more bookings. If you do any more bookings, it would have to happen during the week. We'd have to schedule it or something like that. You had a very temperate week, Gregory, okay? Yeah, I remember that reading. So new employees seem to... Ooh, something big is going on. All right, let's go over here. Let me just tuck this away. So I'm just juggling the stage and the studio to get comfortable, get ready to do our work. Good evening. It's Sunday night. It's our little community hangout. I think I'm on February 2017. February 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Is that real? 8 years we've been doing this? Oh, come on. Seriously? That's insane. I find that hard to believe we've been doing this 8 years. Well, maybe we have. Okay, well, let's just say that we've been doing it 8 years. One form or another. And then let me see. I've got to do another technical thing here. It's give me a second. I'll be right back. Let's just have a quick look here. This is the astrodoodle for today. So if you were a little baby born right now, this is what it would look like. Thank you very much. You would be entering a lifetime where there's intense pressure on decision making. This or that. Who am I? What am I doing here? Why am I here? What am I supposed to do with my energy? See all this cusp here, 29 degrees Mars, 28, 29 degrees Uranus, 0, 1 degrees Saturn and Neptune, 3 degrees Pluto, 0, 1 degree Jupiter. That's tremendous pressure on the cusps where the energy, well, you know, when we look at the chart here, the way they do it in Western astrology, and I'm comfortable with this. I've been doing this for a long time, and this is just, I guess you could say I've conditioned myself that this is how things are. But anyway, using the 12 signs, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and so on, and using the 12 houses and so on, and working with the planets that are associated with each sign, with each house, we get a sort of mythology that's been developed over thousands of years to the point where we are today. And huge advancements were made in understanding the astrology in the last 150 to 200 years, because before that period, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto were only concepts. They were only considered to be like mythological creatures or energy fields or gods that just lived out there in the solar system, but they were undetectable because we didn't have the microscopes or the spacecraft or anything to figure it out. But as technology and science advanced, things accelerated very, very rapidly after Uranus was discovered, 150, 200 years ago or something, and then Neptune and then Pluto, and all of a sudden the mythology turned into just physics. It wasn't just, mystical stuff, it was physics, because they already knew a lot about the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Those energies had been documented for thousands of years and condensed into very consistent themes, storylines. But with the discovery of Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, it put a lot of pressure on humanity to evolve and incorporate the understanding, in other words, the physics, the gravitational field, the physiological influence on our bodies, our minds, and our hearts, and our souls. Because it was going on anyway, whether we liked it or know it or not. But now that we have, scientific affirmation that Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are not mythological gods, they are actually planets in our solar system. Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. And therefore, we can quantify all that stuff. And so it gives us a little bit more depth in our understanding of astrology and how we can read this as a weather report or a spiritual DNA of a person. In terms of a person, this would be somebody who's is going to be living a life where everything is permanently on the cusp. Is it this or is it that? Is it my Leo energy or my Virgo energy that I need to figure out here? Is it my Gemini or my Cancer? Is it my Pisces or my Aries? Is it my Taurus? Is it my Gemini? I've got to figure out which, in other words, extreme fine-tuning. This person will have to develop very, very advanced skills in the art of decision-making and fine-tuning their comprehension of the energy coming into their life so that they can own it and become a transceiver and exercise good energy management so that when the energy comes in, it's not random, they're not a victim. They can own it and then figure out how are they going to express, because we're always transmitting and receiving energy. We are transceivers, constantly receiving energy from here, constantly transmitting energy simultaneously as we process all this. It's very difficult to do. I call it energy management. It's like being a quantum computer processor. How are you going to behave in the next few moments, days, weeks, months ahead, given this? Because this would be like a guide or a roadmap or a blueprint for the way your life is going to unfold. And so for this particular person in this particular lifetime, they are going to be facing permanent, never-ending issues regarding making decisions. And let me just go over here a minute. So imagine that you are a very powerful quantum computer and you're doing the best that you can. And you're realizing that even with being a very powerful computer and having a mind-boggling thing called a brain with our pituitary gland and our ears and our eyes and nose and mouth and skin and everything, and our auras, we sense auras. People's auras mingle. Some people have very toxic auras. Some people have very beautiful auras. Some people are hollow and they have no aura, and so on. And the aura is like a form of expression, like as a result of making decisions. In other words, let's say something horrible happens in the life of this astrological person when they grow up. Let's say for like right now, it's a little infant, newborn, but let's say they reach their Saturn return. Everything becomes very, very critical. when you look at the chart, it's going to be a very, very critical, important Saturn return for this person, because it's right on the critical degrees. So did they spend the last 30 years just being a random victim of energy and just reacting to it? Or did they achieve some form of consciousness where they absorb the energy, process it, understand it, and manifest the best expressions accordingly? In other words, it's like giving yourself a 10-second rule. Let's say I spit evil words at you. Are you going to suddenly go, well, fuck you? Or are you going to sit there and go, okay, I understand you're angry. Chill. I'm not taking it personally. You've got a problem. I don't. Okay, I'm sorry about your problems. Okay, so give yourself a chance. It's so easy to be reactive as opposed to responsive. But this person here, born on this day, is going to be heavily pressured to evolve, make huge evolutionary leaps in this lifetime, on the understanding if they don't make very deliberate, open, conscious decisions regarding the energy that they receive, then they're going to have very evident outcomes. In other words, if you just want to play dumb, then your life will just unfold as just random chaos. If you want to react, then you can make that chaos worse. If you want to respond, in other words, take ownership of your sovereign self, absorb the energy, process it, what's really going on here, what am I going to do with this, figure it out, and then make a decision, then your response comes out. Okay. It's going to be a very, very interesting future. I won't be here, of course, but 30 years from now, these little children are going to be out there having their Saturn returns. Who knows? Maybe I'll reincarnate and I'll be an astrologer then, and I can help them. Part of the tricky bits with this particular astrology is being able to discern and understand the nature of the energy that you are receiving. Because when the planets go over the cusp like this and they reach the 29 and a half degrees of desperation or crisis, it's like a surge of expression of energy. For better or worse, it needs to have its final, like, sunset moment before it's gone. So like for the moon, it'll be a 28 journey before it gets back there again. With Venus, it'll be about a year. With Mars, it'll be about 2.5 years. So it really, really helps if you can make the best of it live, real time, moment by moment, day by day, rather than cruising your whole life on autopilot. And when horrible things happen, you just blame somebody or something else. And when good things happen, you just take it for granted. These children are going to be forced to evolve, to take it to another level, understanding that, well, it's up to me to be my pure sovereign self. I could screw up. I could make good decisions, but I won't know unless I try. So it's almost like a very precarious life, like, oh my God, what if I screw up? What if I make the wrong decision? So there could be a lot of kids born like this who are very reticent, and they're just holding their energy inside and hoping nothing bad happens. There could be people who are very chaotic because they don't understand what's happening, or there could be people who understand that they have big responsibility to make very hard decisions and process a lot of energy that most people don't want to do. Most people don't want to think. They want to be conditioned. They want somebody to lead them. They want somebody to tell them what to do, how to do it, where to do it, with whom to do it, why to do it, and how to do it. And then you just do it. Some people, I know, not directly, but I had a girlfriend years ago. We had a lovely time, and she had a sister. And Carolyn told me about her sister. Her sister made a decision early in her life, well before her Saturn return, that she did not want to think. I don't want to think about stuff. What I want to do is get married and have kids and live in a very orderly way. That's it. I don't want to do all this complicated thinking about this or that or whatever. Go to college, be a professor, rebel against society. No. So she made a decision, what's the best way to do this? In a way that's simple and wholesome and straightforward. And she joined an Amish community. That was it. No thinking necessary. Everything is prescribed. Everything's very orderly. Everything is very godly, very straightforward. But she went through some very, very powerful decision making to get to that point. Anyway, sorry, I'm rambling here. I got to save my voice because we got 4 readings. All right, let's get on with things, okay? Where am I? Where is my? Oh God, where is everything? All these frickin' buttons. Okay. All right. Right now, little Bubba is having a nice snooze. I got him loaded up with food. He's been eating pretty well lately. I'm very happy about that. Love Driver, you're up. Let's do it like this. So let me nudge this over a little bit here. Give ourselves a little bit of room. Okay. Alright, so you know the routine. It helps to have a deliberate invitation sent out to your invisible friends. Gather around. Visualize that you're in a beautiful retreat, possibly somewhere in a beautiful part of New Zealand, lovely, delicious nature, rolling brooks, delicious, clean, warm, comfortable ocean, mountains, fresh water, lakes, beautiful plants and nature and trees. And there we are in the middle of it with our little retreat and a campfire. Okay, so gather around and get comfortable. Oops, excuse me, I don't do those. All right, let's just... I've been shuffling for quite a while, but I like things to be really pristine, okay? All right, let's see, what kind of messages do we have here for Love Triber tonight? As you can tell, I'm doing a complete blind reading, which is in some ways the most liberating. Let's have a look. Okay, here's the situation. Here's challenges, and here's how we're going to handle things. And let's have a look at external influences. Now, obviously, as usual, I often refer to this, because this is an external influence. Hello, Robin. Robin, I'm totally booked up, so don't waste your money, okay? All right, and don't anybody, if anyone else is watching, do not do a super chat. I will never get it. If you want to donate, you just want to donate for the sake of donating to support the channel, you can go over here, TarotLumination.com, donate page, donate button, swipe like you do online shopping. There you go. Anyway, Love Driver, here we go. External. So let's have a look. The Two of Swords. Oh, I'm sorry, Robin. Robin, what we can do is, if you're okay with it, I can do a mini reading later in the week record it and send it to you. It'll be just like this, 10 minutes, little reading, and then you'll get it by email. So yeah, maybe I spoke too bluntly. All right, Love Triber, external, we got Two of Swords. So what this is hinting to me is that it's very, very important right now that you really kind of make a point of doing almost like little miniature meditations to find ways to sort of relax the body, the mind, the heart, the soul in such a way that your divine intuition is opened up to a higher, let's say, capability of receiving divine messages from the great beyond. Okay? Where, excuse me, oh God, I hope my throat survives. Excuse me. Because sometimes it's really, really hard to make decisions in our three-dimensional world when we know that there's an awful lot more stuff swirling around us that doesn't have a lot of apparent definition in three-dimensional world, and there's no other way to go except to tune into heaven. Excuse me. In other words, it's almost like inviting your guides to help you. In other words, recite to yourself and with confidence, I am guided, I am protected. I am guided, I am protected. Please guide me, please protect me. Send me whatever messages I need to know so that I can be the best love triber I can possibly be. Because sometimes it's really hard to figure it out on my own. Okay, so I'm tuning into the great beyond here, all right? Here's the situation. Okay, so with the Six of Cups, it makes me feel that you're doing a lot of, it's probably to do with this retrograde thing here. Let me show you. Pluto in Aquarius retrograde. It's very, very strong right now because it's at the energy of the newborn. Okay, it's the 3-degree mark. We just had 0, 1, 2, 3, and now we're going 3, 2, 1, 0. So there's a tremendous pressure on the birthing process of the new frequencies of Pluto and Aquarius that are going to play out over the next 20 years. And that will affect you. My feeling is that it's affecting you in such a way that it's taking you to the very, very, very depths of your soul, and you're starting to connect with, let's say, personal past lives or personal friends and relationships in this lifetime that have significance or had significance, and you're realizing that there are storylines that you might have missed earlier or much earlier, and they're starting to become more apparent now, and you're starting to become more aware about who, like the who, what, when, why, where, and how of other people in your life, and that they're all there for a reason, like even the horrible people. So it's understanding that you, just as much as you're trying to figure out your own life and live it and move forward as best as you can be, we're all going to go through massive transformations, revolutions over the next 20 years in some way or another. And how's that going to play out for you? It might be to do with relationships between yourself and significant others, either in this lifetime or past lives, where you're starting to get a much richer awareness instead of just getting notes, oh, I remember that person, oh, I remember them, oh, I remember them, or there's that person now, and who are they? Why are they showing up here? There is actually a lot of deep significance, meaning, and purpose to these relationships at the level of your heart. And so it's not just a cerebral thing. It's happening very, very deep down at your soul. It could be, parents, siblings, old friends, old relationships, new friends, new relationships, spontaneous situations that show up in a grocery store or whatever, they all have significance. And understanding that everyone else is trying to figure out their own lives too in context of relationships. And sometimes, in order for us to fully understand who we are, we need a very, very tight, close, 180-degree polarity type situation with another or a significant other to understand our own selves. And in return, you are providing the sacred, valuable mirror of relationship to the significant other, because you have significance to others in their lives just as much as other people have significance to you in your lives. It's mutual. It's like souls and spirits recycling each other to learn more and more and evolve more and more and more. All right, what's the challenges here? Okay, hold on. Before I go into this one, another thing with the Six of Cups, it might allude a little bit to trying to understand the meaning of love and loving relationships in your life, and trying to get a better definition of what love and relationship looks like. Is it just sentimental? Is it pure lust? Is it exploitation? Is it hostile? Is it benevolent? And so on. Understanding the nature of it. On the understanding that you're coming in pure in each situation, coming always from the position of love, but you might not feel that in return, okay? So it might not be reciprocal. Then you might want to figure out, why is it not reciprocal? And that's where the learning comes. Okay, let's have a look. What do we got? Where's the challenges? Okay, so with the Seven of Wands here, my feeling is that it's like you're dealing with a new chapter in your life where you're realizing that, oh, all these challenges that I'm facing in my life, they're almost like a setup. It's almost like I set this up for myself before I incarnated in this lifetime. And so it's no surprise that I'm here at this moment in time trying to figure out all of these things. Now, I'm going to be okay. I know I'm going to be okay because I'm on the high ground here. On the other hand, I have to deal with these issues, whatever they might be. Personal, financial, health, spiritual growth and understanding, friends and family, whatever it might be, finances, what's the next chapter in my life. Sometimes it's impossible to figure these things out without external pressure coming at you. We grow that way, like sports, like athletes. It's very, very hard for athletes to evolve and grow and achieve and win and succeed without things like competition, especially from people who are very, very evenly matched with your own energy. And so this might feel like, oh, this is so tedious, so painful, so unnecessary. But deep down, it's ultimately about your own spiritual growth and evolution. Hard to understand. This is quite a tricky reading for me to express, but I hope it makes sense. All right, how do we proceed? Proceed very carefully, okay? In other words, yes, this is like an affirmation that what you might have felt in your soul as a life challenge, as some sort of obstacle or unnecessary impedance is now confirmed, like, yes, that's what it is. And now we need precise definition. In other words, this is raw energy. Like it could be, stress, anxiety, or combat, or something like that, pressuring you to have to stand up and protect yourself, protect your money, protect your privacy, protect yourself, protect your sanctity, your sovereignty, your home, your integrity, your identity. All of that is being challenged. But there's no definition here. It's just being challenged. But with the Eight of Swords here, we're actually getting a chance to find definition, precise definition of what's not working. What does that look like? And the only way to figure out is to allow yourself to experience what it would feel like, conflict or pressure. And then it will take on a form of definition, like, oh, I know what that is. That's the result of a decision I made back then about this and that and that. Oh, I know what that is. This is nothing I have to take personally because that was just somebody being hostile. Yeah, and that felt bad, but it's not my fault. Oh, over here. What's this one? Oh, those are external energies. I can't do it. Maybe that's the news. Maybe that's the astrology. And like, don't take it personally. I just have to navigate through, trusting that I'm going to be okay. Trusting in my own radar that I am being guided and I am being protected, and I will get through okay. Even though it might be a scary experience, by bringing in divine guidance by invitation, making it a very, very specific daily three-dimensional practice. Dear guardian angels, my invisible friends, my spirit guides, my mom and my dad and everybody from the great beyond, my pets, everybody, please guide me and protect me as I go forward through all this learning experience and the fine-tuning of my life so I can have the best life possible, to be the best me possible, knowing that, it's tricky. Like all these swords here could also correspond to the very, very difficult array of decisions and factors that are going on for everybody right now. Look, there's 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's 4 cluster points right here. And each of them is composed of 2 different energies. Pisces, Aries. Taurus, Gemini. Gemini, Cancer. Leo, Virgo. So in your situation, it's just like translation. Instead of like three-dimensional sweating, trying to figure out the problems, allow divine guidance and your spirit guides to inform you so that you don't load up on stress and let this overwhelm you. And instead, you kind of breathe your way through it, knowing that you're going to be okay. You might feel like, oh, I don't really have any guidance. Well, actually you do, okay? But it happens by invitation. If you don't do the initial invitation, then this would feel scary. So, do this first. All right. Thank you, Love Triber. I'm going to... Oh, look, there's Necessary. Hi, Necessary. Okay, I got to shuffle this up. Let me do a little bit of a mini... let's see, what can I do over here? Oh, come on, little computer, you poor thing. Mr. Ross, good evening. Like I was saying earlier, it's been years we've been doing this. Quite amazing how the stories evolved. I was thinking the other day, if I did do a show tonight, I was going to wonder if Tina would show up. We haven't seen her in a while. She's over there in New Mexico. She's got her 3 big dogs. Charlie. Damn, I lost the names. I forgot. Anyway, if you see this later, hi Tina. Hope you're well. Okay, Gregory, so those are interesting notes. You've got employees now. You're having a mellow time. Employees seem to work out. That's cool. That's exciting. Makes me very curious. Well, about Tina's dogs. There's Charlie, Sasha. Is it Ava who's the one who passed away in that crazy accident? And what's the name of the other one? Anyway, I know Ava is or was one of them. Ava Maria. Ave Maria. Okay, Gregory, let's just dive in, okay? Let's just do it. Okay, sir, what kind of messages do we have for you tonight? You know the routine. Get your invisible friends. Get comfortable. Get a nice beverage. Get some sort of, I don't know, centering feeling going. Get your fur buddy handy. All those things. We're very nicely shuffled, so we're pretty much ready to go. What kind of messages do we have for Mr. Gregory Ross here tonight? Jordan Craig relationship. Ooh, that sounds fun. Ooh. Either open or a Jordan Craig relationship. Okay, just for fun. Let's get... Most of the time, Gregory, we do wild open readings, but who knows? Let's just see what happens. Either or. Let's go. I would love to do something really specific because I haven't done that in a long time. So what kind of messages do we have here tonight regarding Jordan Craig? All right, sir, here we go. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle things going forward. Let's have a look at the surrounding energies, external influences. I'm going to go over here. Temperance. Okay. So my feeling is this is like a major arcana, okay? So it has a very broad spectrum influence. My feeling is that don't mess with my girl, Tia. So my feeling is with the temperance here, there's something like mutually beneficial going on regarding yourself and Jordan Craig, like mutual healing. It may be that you're good for this person and this person is good for you in a way that's very, like, say, sublime, not a stressful thing, but like a very gentle form of, maybe there's some type of mutual appreciation going on here in terms of value, like Jordan Craig values you and you value Jordan Craig in ways that are, let's say, above, let's say, routine convenience or exploitation or business or just you know, what people try to do in business, all right? Just people, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm very frustrated, sorry. There's a little bit of a soul relationship here, okay, in some way, even if it's something relatively new, if it's just purely functional, pure business, if it's personal, whatever. It feels like it has broad spectrum, mutually beneficial, and it's very, there's a lot of equilibrium here. Okay, what's the situation itself? Wow, another major arcana. Okay, so this might be a very fateful type of situation with Jordan Craig, where maybe like symbolically, since I see this as a mutually beneficial type of relationship, symbolically, what it looks like to me is that the form and the nature of the deep soul healing involved here, even though it might be a relationship that's maybe skiing buddies or business or whatever, it still has something very profound at the deep soul level, which is about healing, mutually healing, okay? It doesn't mean you have to do meditations over each other and do remote healing on each other all day and sit in a room and chant all day. I'm not talking about that. I'm just simply your presence in their life, their presence in your life for whatever reason. And the nature of that healing is to rekindle a sense of hope in life, okay? Your beneficial influence on Jordan triggers a sense of renewed hope in life. Jordan's influence on you in this mutual healing relationship has a resurgence and rekindling of hope in your life. Both parties bestowing a sense of hope for each other. So, that's kind of sweet. Doesn't have to be specific, doesn't have to be all, you don't have to walk around in yoga clothes and carry yoga mats everywhere. You can just be whoever you are. They can just be whoever they are, but this is what's happening at the essence, at the core, okay? Let's have a look. What are the challenges here? Okay, again, I think I'm feeling this as like it's like in a relationship reading. It's where, like with the Ten of Swords here, both parties, by sensing that there might be hope here, Gregory, if I'm completely out of line, please give me a hint. But if this is sort of resonating with you, you don't have to say anything. But what I'm sensing here with the Ten of Swords is that both parties, both yourself and Jordan, are sick of this shit, okay? Who wants this, okay? It's like mutual understanding. It's almost like you don't even have to have conversations about it. Just by being, let's say, in a mutually beneficial relationship, where at the essence it triggers a sense of hope in life, mutual, okay? It almost looks like it's a realization that both parties carry tremendous pain, and they've been carrying tremendous pain and suffering for a long time, and both parties have been desiring some kind of final conclusion where you can say, you know what, I'm sick of it. I can't take it anymore. Okay, you can shoot me, you can smash me to pieces, you can trip me up, you can bankrupt me, you can betray me. Sure. I've done it all. I've been there, done that. I've seen it all. All I know is that I'm sick of it, and I don't want this ever to come back again. There's just too much pain, and that is kind of in the background. Like both parties are realizing that I don't want to have so many horror stories, nightmares in my own personal life. For whatever reason, business, personal, finance, whatever it is, because it's just pain, okay? But the beauty about this is like it's over. Now that something like this is going on, and where it looks to me like it's mutually beneficial, then this can actually be an asset, because it gives you a very high degree of understanding of what does not work in your life. Okay, so it's like well, it's almost like one of those Elon Musk type stories, where Elon Musk is famous for making a lot of mistakes, but that's how he learns and grows. He accepts that's part of the life, and it's very, very painful. It's very, very painful to live through it all, but he understands and learns and grows from that. And so it's like you've got this in the background, and it's kind of, you've already been there, done that. Okay, so it's great, and you're not exactly eager for this to resurface again. This is more like, okay, we know about this. We can put this aside now, because we've learned a lot about what doesn't work. So that gives us a much clearer understanding of what does work. So let's tune into what does work, and tune into the energy of mutual healing, mutual self-support, which generates a sense of renewed hope in life. Mutual, okay? Excellent notes there, necessary. Who's that? Oh, hello. Oh, sorry. I'm in the middle of a reading. Sorry, Virginia. Let's have a look. All right, so how do we manage these going forward? Okay, look at this. We've got the Six of Swords here. To me, this looks like a real attitude of gratitude thing, in a very gentle but very broad spectrum manner, where for the foreseeable future, it's really all about, I would say, gratitude. Be grateful for whatever is beneficial and good about this situation with Jordan. Go forward accordingly. Only bring with you that which works. Understand you've already done a lot. You've already, both parties have already made a lot of mistakes, suffered a lot of pain in their lives. You don't need that anymore. You've reached a new plateau in life where, you know what? We can shed all this. Yes, there's pain and there's wounds, but let's look to the future. This is very, very much about the future. Okay? So, the Star card is very much about the future. So looking forward, going to the future, travel light. Carry with you only the necessities. Allow yourself to be open to the experience. Don't get bogged down in three-dimensional things like must have this, must do that, must achieve that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What counts is being free from the inside out, having a sense of hope where it's very, very light. In other words, you can live light. It's like, it's very liberating here. Okay, this is like a. Okay, so going forward on a journey together, you bring yourself along, they bring themselves along, and you only bring what you now know works, which is the stuff that's very deep down, that's very, very important. So you don't have to be, constantly recycling pain and wounds and suffering from the past, either your life or their life. Go forward feeling blessed, okay? Feeling very simple, very, very pure, very, very blessed. This is very well earned. This is hard-earned gift of hope, okay? So I'm going over here now, Gregory. It feels very, well, you can figure it out. You're a card reader yourself, okay? So I think you can figure things out, okay? So you can carry that forward with you. And what I see when I go to the Six of Swords at the end, it makes things very, very light. Very, very light. It gives you, the situation allows you to breathe gently, breathe easily, knowing that there's chaos, pain, suffering, destruction, treachery, betrayal, lies, theft, horrors all around you, all in the world, all day long, every day. But you don't have to carry that load. It's not yours. It's nothing personal. You're now going forward to a new chapter where it's about living light. Living light. You've given so much, and you don't have to carry so much anymore going forward, carrying the burden of other people's pain and suffering. You can go forward now and just mostly just enjoy being you. And like, oh, I mean, I don't have to feel guilty for just being me and having a very light, liberating sense of freedom and hope. No, you can just be that, live that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a blessing. And then you can live by example. If you radiate the aura of hope as a consequence of a mutually beneficial relationship, then guess what happens? Hope breeds hope. You live by example. You're constantly in that field, that energetic frequency of hope. And it's a very light energy. It's a very, very light, free, liberating energy. And you realize, man, I don't need that problem. So if it looks like a problem is coming at you, and you recognize that it's coming at you, and it's nothing to do with you, it's just like someone else's poopy mess, it's just like, you can just walk away, because it's SEP, someone else's problem. Okay? You don't have to be a magnet for other people's pain and suffering. That's over. Okay? So I hope that makes sense, Gregory. Living light. All right, so we're going to now read for necessary. And I'm going to shuffle up. Okay. So where am I? Okay, we're over here. So let me give myself a moment here. Thanks, people, for helping out with the chat. There's only so much I can do right now when I'm in the middle of these readings. Sorry. Hello, Therese. Hello, Virginia. I'm all booked up. Do jumpers, flyers, reversals, or anything like that. I like to keep it very simple, pristine. This is my own custom unique spread. I see your messages. Okay. 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 Okay, I see. I'll keep it really simple. My God, sorry, excuse me. One of my fingers is not working very well. My thumb is not working very well. And this hand is messed up. I'm doing my best. I like to have really pristine shuffling. I like to have a very pristine deck. Okay, now we're looking better. So I really need to get this one good. Okay, that's good. Okay, thank you, Necessary. This is going to be fun. So, here we go. What kind of messages do we have? Thank you, Necessary. What kind of messages do we have here? Imagine that Donald Trump is here and he actually booked a reading. I'm extremely blessed and fortunate because I've actually, and this is going to sound completely wacko, but please understand this is my life. I've already had a very vivid, profound, actually I've had two profound, let's just say in spirit, encounters in spirit with Donald himself. And in each case he was very gracious because he's a very avid learner. He doesn't prejudge, or he doesn't, let's see, what's the word? He doesn't exclude the possibility of something new making him feel stupid or less than. It's an amazing energy field, okay? So the message is here for Donald. It's for Donald tonight, and it's for us to learn and understand what's going on. What messages do we have here for Donald tonight, especially regarding these betrayals? He's suffered a lot of betrayals from Elon Musk, from Vladimir Zelensky, from Vladimir Putin, from Benjamin Netanyahu, from Ayatollah Khomeini, from Xi Jinping, from countless people who are the enemy, especially the No Kings riots, the Renta riots all over America. Some of them have spread to Europe, honestly. It's really disturbing. And of course, a lot of it is just the consequence of what we'd expect when you look at the astrology. We all knew we were going to be in a very warlike environment and it was going to go hot. Missiles, bombs, jets, bullets, guns, tanks, lots of dead bodies. We already knew that months in advance, and here we are. And Trump has been doing his best to be very gracious. He always gives people the benefit of the doubt, gives them a chance to redeem themselves. Even the Ayatollah Khomeini in Iran, even Xi Jinping, all the people that I just mentioned have committed extreme treachery, evil, and betrayal. Not just on Donald Trump, but on the world, on millions of people, resulting in a lot of death. It's very sad. And Donald takes that very personally, okay? All right, so I'm going to do one last little thing. Give us a little bit of an essence of a reading here. What messages do we have for Donald? What can we send to him after this reading is over? because he needs every bit of help he can get. He's got a fantastic cabinet team. He's doing the surround yourself with talent method of success, but he doesn't actually have his own personal astrologer walking around with him every day on demand. So we're just going to do it by remote from here. Okay? Thank you, necessary. Let's have a look. I'm sorry for any Democrats out there. Sorry if you have TDS. I love Donald. I'm very happy he's here. Let's have a look. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle things. And let's have a look at external influences, which astrologically happen to be very extreme at the moment. Queen of Swords. So, my feeling is there's something kind of going on inside of him where he doesn't really want to do this. There's deep down inside. Okay, I'm going to have to do this like with a visual or something. I don't know. Deep down inside, there's a part of him which is experiencing a lot of pain and suffering, having to be this powerful world leader. Because what's happening in his role as a leader, he's having to do the most despicable things on earth that he deeply regrets, but it comes with the job. It's a very, very, very tragic part of his job is to accept that there's going to be a lot of death under his watch. Not necessarily his fault, but whether you're talking about the Ukraine-Russia war, the Israeli-Jewish, Iran, Hezbollah, Hamas, Houthi, death cult war, whether it's the asymmetric warfare from China, where it's all the little wars in Africa, where it's the internal war inside America. There's a lot of pain and violence and death. It's very, very tragic. I'm including fentanyl, for example. I'm including the fungus moles, for example. And sadly, see, Donald has a very, very, very huge, enormous heart chakra. It just radiates massive amounts of literally golden light. And at the same time, part of his day job is to have to do what is deep down the most despicable, horrible things on earth, which is to have to commit violence that includes death. And that pains him very, very deeply at the heart of his soul, the feminine part of his nature, the part that cares, the part that nurtures. He's had a lot of kids, he's had a lot of grandkids. He's a very nurturing parental figure. And he cares very, very deeply about the American people. Even the bad people. He cares very much about his family. He cares very much about his business. He loves America. Just look at his astrological chart, okay? And so when it comes to doing these horrific things that he has to do, he pushes them off as much and as far as possible. But when time comes, he does what has to be done. And when he does that, it's very, very painful. The Queen of Swords represents that part of him which I think it hurts him a lot, where like if he wishes that this never had to happen, where he actually has to be the one who enacts violence and death on others, like when he bombed the Houthis, took them out. Activating the immigration tasks here in America. It involves a lot of violence, and there's death as well. Taking out the cartels in Mexico, and so on and so on and so on. And now his latest issue is, what are we going to do about Russia? What are we going to do about Iran? What are we going to do about China? He has to face off with these other guys who, to me, represent tyranny. And he's at a crisis point right now, especially with the Ayatollah Khomeini, because the Ayatollah Khomeini, he's very overt about death to America, death to the Jews, death to Israel. And so, tragically, Trump has to take that seriously, takes that man at his word, because the Ayatollah Khomeini means it. And so Trump is put in this position where, like it or not, he may have to execute massive, destructive actions on Iran, possibly including taking out the Ayatollah Khomeini. Israel is doing a lot of the dirty work already, but Trump has made it very clear, if anything from Tehran, Iran, the Ayatollah, the Islamic extremists, do anything bad to one of my American people, Iran will suffer maximum punishment. It'll be beyond anything you've ever seen. And so that's great. That's Donald Trump being the male, ferocious lion, Leo, savage, who every now and again he has to go up to the enemy, right to their face, and rip their face off, tear out their throat, throw the corpse on the ground, and then walk away and let everyone else look at what just happened when you mess with Donald. He can do that. He's born astrologically to do that. But deep inside, his feminine self, the loving part, it's very, very painful for him. But it has to be done. So there might be more pain and death and suffering and savagery that is going to be ordered on his watch. Okay? No, that's what I'm doing. This is to me, this is very, very personal. Okay? Because Donald Trump takes this very, very personally when he goes to bed at night. Making very, very tough decisions to be the executioner or not. Anyway, let's have a look. What's the situation itself? I'm not reading the news. He takes all this stuff very personally. All right, so the situation is this. It's the Hanged Man. So my feeling is that he knows that he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. And it's a consequence of reaching this point in his life. I don't understand your notes necessary. Hi, Bubba. What's up? You hungry? You thirsty? Come and hang out with us, all right? Bubba's coming to help me. Come on, Bubba. I'm going to shuffle this all over here. Okay. So, with the Hanged Man, the situation for this, I am going blind. Now, I don't know Donald personally. I'm doing this as if we're doing a mini reading for Donald Trump. What do we need to understand regarding all his betrayals and all these horrible things that are going on out there that he has to handle? So, with the Hanged Man here, the way I look at it is okay, this person is stuck between a rock and a hard place, where he's very clear and very understanding about what's going on. But to make a hard, concrete decision right now is hi, Bubba. It's extremely difficult, because he knows that whatever he decides to do or not to do will have very significant consequences. Thank you, Bubba. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this, Bubba. Let me have that. I'm going to have that back over here. I'm going to put that over here. Thank you, Bubba. Oh. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Bubba. Oh my gosh, I missed you. Oh my gosh, I missed you. Ah. Ooh. Lovely little Bubba. So, with the Hanged Man, let me go over here. So with the Hanged Man, oh, little Bubba. Oh, I'm so grateful. Look at the chart. I'm going to get the chart for a minute. You see all those orange ovals? Those represent extreme points of stress regarding decision making. And Donald Trump is affected just like the rest of us. And he's poised. What he's doing, he's holding. It's very, very difficult to do, okay? It's basically, what's that? Holding the position. Oh, little Baba. Oh, my beautiful Baba. He is in the extremely difficult position of having to hold his fire. Why do I say that? Because it's very much about war right now. America is at war with the world. The world is at war with America. Okay? And America has vast firepower, and Trump has the button, his fingers on the button. But we're reaching an incredible point in history of critical mass. This has never really happened before, where the whole of planet Earth is involved in an evolutionary leap that happened the same time 250 years ago, 1776. We're reliving that whole thing now, but it's on a global scale. It's not just the early founders in 13 states of America versus King George in England. This is now the whole world dealing with the issues of freedom and versus tyranny. And in a warlike condition, Trump, I feel, is having to be extremely careful, poised, doing absolutely nothing. Like the worst thing he could do right now is to react to the insanity that's going out there. Okay, we know about the No Kings riots, the insanity and the evil of China's Communist Party. We know about the evil committed by these different leaders. Oh, little Baba. Oh, little Baba. And it would be so easy for Donald to simply react and just say, I'm just going to blow you out of the water. But then you have to deal with the consequences of those decisions. And so Donald is doing the hardest thing possible. It's unimaginable. It's just to literally hold that energy. Because he would love to react. Most people would react under this much extreme hyper pressure. But he's not. He's holding the ground. He's holding the energy in a place of serene stability and allowing like the weather patterns to play out so that he does not behave as a victim of the energy, but he instead owns the energy, integrates it into his being so that he can come and create a response. And then if he has to respond by war, violence, let's take out the Ayatollah, let's bomb Iran, then he will do that as a response and not a reaction. Okay. Thank you, Bubba. Oh, you're really helping me, Bubba. Giving me a great ability to be a lot more clear about all this stuff. Thank you so much. So, let's move on. What are the challenges here? Okay, so we have the Seven of Pentacles. We've had this before with Donald. The challenge is that it's an enormous, staggering, monumental task to clean up planet Earth. Not just America, but the whole of planet Earth. And it's very, very sad, hard, grueling work. But someone's got to do it. Someone has to take charge and figure out what are we going to do. All those pentacles correspond to all the good things on this earth. Things like water, sunlight, clean air, clean food, clean business, clean finance, sound money, good values, good belief systems. But it's all heavily corrupted by evil and betrayal, treachery, treason, crime, murder. And that all has to be cleaned up. Someone's got to do it. It's an enormous, staggering job. And it's sad. But someone's got to do it. Moving on. Oh, little Bubba. How do we proceed? Let's have a look. Okay, it's very, very simple. Donald just keeps going. One day at a time. That's it. He's basically investing in the future by cleaning up the mess that's been created by all the evil people. There's the mess created by all the evil people. He's doing everything he can to create an incredible team that's cleaning it all up so that it makes it worthwhile, because he knows he won't be able to do all this in his own 4-year term. He's creating a blueprint for the future. And so that means starting now, treating every single task, every single individual task is vital towards the rehabilitation, the remodeling, the reconstitution, the redeclaring of 1776 revisited to make America great again, which is his beloved, divinely ordained duty. And he's taken it on very bravely. It's work. It's just an enormous amount of work, but he's also known for being an extremely hard worker. Okay? So, I hope that makes sense. Necessary. You got a little bit of value out of that reading. Oh, God. Little Bubba, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I have no idea what's going on. I think I just saw Sarah somewhere. Oh boy. What am I doing over here? Where am I? So I gotta see where I am. There looks like there's a massive delay on the show. I hope that helped you, Necessary Truth. I hope Donald gets the message. It's like we're taking a look inside the workings so we can have a bit of an understanding of what he's dealing with. It's a horrific job, but someone's got to do it. And so he's doing it. Sometimes it's very, very painful and tragic, but someone's got to do it. Sarah, I don't know if I can take it anymore. I feel like I'm saturated tonight. Hold on, let's see what happens here. Bubba, what's going on? I might have to take a mini break. Let me just check in here. Thank you, Bubba. Look, here's little Bubba. I don't know, the cameras and the lighting are freaking out. You want to come over here, Bubba? Yeah, help yourself. I'm going to go over here. Let me just check with the chat. Hello. Oh, thank you, Necessary. I'm glad you understand. Now, I think I saw Sarah show up. Are you there, Sarah? Yes. Okay, Sarah, I owe you one. All right? I think it was from last week. So if you're up for it, Sarah, if you're up for it, I'll give you a mini reading. I don't know what's going to happen with Bubba. He's off having a glass of water. And Necessary Truth. How is he going to get from the Seven of Pentacles to the Nine of Pentacles? It's a lot of work. He has to go through the Eight of Pentacles first. It's an astronomical amount of work. He's basically setting up the blueprints, the architecture, the business model, the operating system for hopefully for years to come, so that when his term is over, it's just like running a business. Okay, let me put it this way. Trump is essentially a businessman. He's a realtor, developer. Hi, Bubba, you want to come down here? You want to sit over here? And, you know, he's got a lot of employees under the Trump organization. He's got his two sons and a few other people who run the organization. But he has a lot of employees in his, whatever it is, hotels, casinos, clubs, whatever. And if the golf course needs landscaping, he doesn't go out and do that. It's a lot of work. He has landscapers who do that, and they're on payroll. And they operate under the operating system, the business model, the direction of the Trump organization. So he's there setting up that organization. He's living by example right now, today, showing by example the work that has to be done in order to make America great again, which will eventually lead to the Nine of Pentacles. But we're not there yet, okay? Hey, Bubba, thank you. Thank you, Bubba. You're going to have massive treats later. Sarah, where are you? Where are you? Sarah! I feel sorry. I hope there's nobody here who has TDS. I can't help you. There's nothing you can do about it. I don't know. So, sorry if I offended anybody, but I love Donald. I love what he's doing. I support him in any way I can, even with doing a live mini reading by remote that he doesn't even know is happening. Thank you, Necessary. All right, Sarah. I don't know where Sarah went. Okay, let's just do it. Ultimately, of course, we want the Ten of Pentacles. Sarah, where are you? All right, I'm just going to do it. Sarah. All right, here we go. Gosh, I'm so grateful for that little visit from Bubba. Goodness, really, it really helped me to calm down and be centered and to stay on point, if that makes any sense. Sarah, you're up. Oh, it's such a total joke. The No Kings thing is the biggest joke. On the other hand, they're funded by billions and billions of dollars. I don't know if you've seen it online, people. Have you seen it online where you can see, I think it's there's about 60 non-governmental organization, NGOs, that are heavily funded by United States tax dollars that are effectively communist fronts to steal money, and they're putting it into nokings.org along with Neville Singham and George Soros and a bunch of other multi-billionaires, including Christy Walton from the Walmart chain. Yeah, so there's a lot of evil there contained in nokings.org. They think they're being smart and clever, but I think they're pathetic. I look at them and I think this is truly pathetic. What a pathetic bunch of crackpot. I did not see that, Jody. All right, Sarah. Sarah, I don't know where you went, but I'm going to do your reading anyway. It's going to be a blind reading. What kind of messages do we have here tonight for Sarah Nova? If you have to get this after the show is over or something, if you had to go and cook dinner or something. All right, here we go. Here's the situation. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle things. Let's have a look at external influences. So we have temperance again. Okay. I feel it's a little bit of a different vibe this time for you, Sarah. To me, it makes me feel like it's time for you to heal yourself a little bit. I don't know if you've been under a lot of stress or just taking things too personally, or you are, let's say, either knowingly or unknowingly being affected by these very challenging astrological trigger points here right now. So, I mean, this is a form of external influence. It's very big, it's very powerful. You'd never know it's happening because it's just electromagnetic energy in the form of gravitational fields that pull on us at the heart of our soul. We might sense something through our pituitary gland, or you might feel tension in your brain or something, who knows what. But what I'm sensing with the temperance is that you might have unwittingly, let's put it this way, okay? Okay, this is what I'm getting. Sarah, what I'm sensing is that you might have unwittingly taken on a lot more stress in your life, in your body, your mind, your heart, and your soul without knowing it. In other words, you're conducting yourself on a day-to-day basis as though everything's just great and you can handle this, I can handle that, we've got this sorted out, got that sorted out, life is ticking along, I'm just being the best Sarah Nova I can. But in the background, you're way up there, loaded with stress, but you don't know it, and it's time for you to heal yourself. Okay? And it's hard to do because it means, number one, admitting and like allowing it to come up into your consciousness, like, oh my God, there's something that is deeply troubling for me, something that's very painful, whatever it is, but you don't want to think about it. You don't want to deal with it in your three-dimensional waking life because it's too much to handle. But when I see this temperance card for you right now, it's time. It's just like, if you have to, just take a nap or take a day off or vent. If you're somewhere that you can go into nature, like a stream, or walk on rich, luscious grass, or go to the ocean or a beach, or somewhere very private where you can do a lot of screaming, pounding on a tree, yelling at the sky, whatever it is, crying your eyes out, jumping around like a hysterical hippie, whatever it is, to heal yourself. I don't think this has anything to do with going to see a doctor or a yoga healer or a remote healer or anything like this. So this looks like it's very, very private, very, very personal. Nothing to do with partners, pets, family, or anything like that. It's just purely personal, okay? So, let's go. The reason I'm saying what I just said is because there's a lot of pressure out there right now, and you might not be aware that you are in a state of overload. But if you are aware of it, and it's like, hey TL, I know exactly what you're talking about. I just didn't want to deal with it because it's just too much. And then TL says, well, Sarah, you're doing a great job, but the reality is you got to heal yourself because no one else is going to do this. Okay? You're going to have to be your own doctor, basically. Let's put it that way. Your own healer. And this isn't even a healing message here. This is just a message to tell you that you need to heal yourself. I mean, these readings are kind of like healing. You know, you've got to reveal it to heal it. So we're revealing what needs to be revealed so that it can be healed. And the actual healing is you healing yourself. It's like, I'm not healing you. I'm just sending you the message that you need to heal yourself. Okay. Ooh, I hope that makes sense. Anyway, here's the situation. Oh. Maybe you've invested so much and done so much to make things as good as you can in your life that you overdid it a little bit, but it was worth it. Maybe something joyful just happened in your life as a result. Maybe this healing stuff that I'm talking about here, maybe it's something you've been working on for some time because you already know and understand what I've been sensing, trying to communicate to you. I don't know, maybe this refers to something really specific. The obvious things would be like, I can't remember if you're the person regarding new real estate, something like that. Maybe it's something, obviously something to celebrate, some sort of celebration, something joyful that's to be shared. I don't know, maybe you had a baby or something. Maybe some deal was crafted, something joyful, synonymous with self-healing. Like, oh my God, it worked. It's actually working. And it actually feels good when you heal yourself, okay? It's like, wow, I can do that. I did that. I did that. Oh, that's so cool. You don't have to ask permission from anyone else. You don't have to bow to anyone else. You just give yourself permission to be awesome, and that whatever needs healing, let it heal, let it be healed. And that creates joy and abundance in your life. And that's just something to celebrate. I'm really kind of caught off guard by this. I don't really have a full understanding of this little Three of Cups here, Sarah. I'm hoping you do, and you'll know exactly what we're talking about. Oh, you know what? Let's just say, so far everything sort of makes sense to you. But this isn't something, maybe not necessarily specific, but just more to do with the energy of healing. It's like, yes, I'm Sarah Nova. I understand what you're saying, TarotLumination. It's from the past, the deep past. It's present and it's ongoing. It's into the future as well. I understand it. I have to be my own healer for certain things. You can't outsource certain things. I have to do it myself. And to be honest, I've already been doing it. Maybe this is like active practice already. You're already actively practicing that. And this little reading here is like a little bit of a validation. I don't know how to express it properly. What I'm sensing is like, it's like a validation. It's almost like saying, I know exactly what you're talking about, TL. It feels good. It feels really good, because whenever I consciously get involved in self-healing, it always results in a feeling where it's just like, oh, that's good. I want to dance in nature. You know? Which supplements and amplifies the healing. And it starts to become a formula. Healing yourself becomes an actual practice, like it's a formula, like, oh, it's a trick. Well, I can do that, like a party trick. This is so cool. Like a moment, just a couple of moments of like, oh yeah, I'm okay. I'm freaking awesome. I figured that out. I was not destroyed or demoralized by that horrible, scary thought about things not working out in my life about so-and-so, whatever. I'm happy anyway, because I said so. By choice, by determination, despite all the odds, despite 4 massive astrological crisis points that are making it very, very hard to decide anything. But you're doing it anyway. I am deciding that I feel good anyway. And you deserve it. Now, this is for something specific, and the fruition is there, then bless you. All right, so what's the challenges? Okay, this reading is totally making... Okay, we got the King of Wands here. Are you missing somebody terribly who you that you wish would be at home right now? Is there a powerful male figure in your life who is very good for you that happens to be absent? Honestly, Sarah, I'm struggling with this reading. I really am. This is very rare. This is very strange for me. We're going to have to follow up on this, Sarah. Since it looks like you're not here, I'm going to have to get in touch with you, let you know about my struggle with this reading. Doesn't seem right. Something's like, are you glad that some male character has departed? Are you glad that you have finally mastered and manifested like your own supremacy, your own sovereignty of self, which has never really manifested before, and it's been so hard because you always knew you had that in you? Your ability to be the most awesome Sarah Nova possible, like the boss, okay? Like the boss, Sarah Nova, the boss, okay? The indisputable boss, which might have been eluding you for a very, very long time, and now you're sensing that you are in the zone. It's just that it's been very, very painful to not be in the zone, but now that you're understanding how energy works, this phenomenon, I call it energy management, and you realize, wow, I can manifest my own awesomeness by choice. That's so freaking simple. Why didn't anybody tell me? It's very, very simple. It's very, very pure. How did it elude me for so long? All right, let's move on. Okay, moving forward. Wow. Oh my gosh, something very liberating has happened for you, Sarah, whatever that is. It's taken you to a new level of the new Sarah Nova. And it's like going forward, there's no turning back. I don't know how else to say it. Going forward, Sarah, going forward, there is no turning back. From now on, you are the boss of you. You are in charge of your life. You are the leader, the decision maker. You are the decider. It doesn't mean you have to charge forth all day, every day, like you drink 5 Red Bulls every day and you are maniacally obsessed on achieving perpetual advancements. No, this just indicates that it's okay to be the boss of you. It doesn't mean you have to be, okay, look at it this way. I worked for a lot of companies, had a lot of jobs in my life, and when anything sucked in the company or the job, it always sucked from the top down. All right? There's nothing worse than a bad boss, a bad employer, a bad company that treats their employees. You're the boss, okay? And so it is possible to be what I would call a benevolent leader. The king of Wands energy, of course, could be a bombastic king, almost like the emperor. But the emperor, one of the most wonderful things is a benevolent king. Some people are scared of kings. We don't have kings in America. No kings, right? We don't. We really, truly don't. But maybe that was something that was missing in your life, and now you've made this like spontaneous discovery. It's just like, oh my God, it was there all the time. It was so simple. Why didn't anybody tell me? I just never knew. But now you know. And it's very, very healing in a very deep, deep soul soothing kind of way. And you can celebrate. It's very personal. It's one-on-one. It's you. And going forward, it's just like, oh, wow. I now give myself permission to be me, my most awesome version of me, that had never really had the chance to manifest before because I never allowed it to happen before. Maybe I was scared of my own power, but not anymore. There you go, Sarah. I hope that really helps you. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to check out with everybody here. You know what? I'm going to check out here. Close this down. This is the last reading. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so, so much. It's really been fun. I love doing this, as you know. The glory days are over. I can't do 4 to 5 hours with endless readings. Oh, you're here. Sarah. Jeepers, you were here all the time. Anyway, I owed you a reading, so I gave you a reading. It was a very, honestly for me, a very strange reading. It really, really took me off on a tangent. But towards the end, I started to feel more in tune with it. I hope it meant something or brought value to you. Okay? So I'm very glad you're here. Anyway. Let's see. Okay, there's some folks over there. Okay. So it's been a lovely evening. I'm going to wrap up and get out of here. Thank you all for your kindness, your patience, your generosity, and for the random viewers. I hope you get something out of it too. If you want to, if anyone's interested, I do deep dive stuff. We can get very personal. You can go over to TarotLumination.com. You can go to connect with me. You can go to donate, or you can book and pay for readings on there too. It's just like online shopping. And then we schedule it, we do a Zoom, and we record it, and then you get your copy, then you download it and keep it, and so on. So that's how that works. So it's been a pleasure. I hope I didn't scare people. I wish I could just send this direct to Donald and he got his mini reading. I probably could. If I had the technology, I could probably do that. Extract it out of the video, put it on my Truth Social account somehow or other, and send it over to Donald. And maybe his team, his social media team, would find it and figure it out, and they say, "Hey, Donald, there's a guy over here who just gave you a tarot reading. Freakish, man." All right, anyway, thank you, everybody. Take care. Look after yourselves. Hope to see you next Sunday night. For all the people who might have wanted a reading and didn't get one, try again another time, or book something privately. We can do that too.